talk about triple negative cancer and long-term disability claims. About 10 to 20% of breast cancer are triple negative, meaning that they lack estrogen receptors, progesterone receptors, and an excess HER2 protein. Now, this type of cancer is more aggressive and more likely to reoccur, and it's more challenging to treat because the hormone therapy and HER2 targeted drugs can be ineffective. Triple negative breast cancer is often seen in women younger than 40, and it can be linked to genetic mutations. But the symptoms are the same, if you will, in terms of other types of breast cancer. You can have swelling, lumps, pain, skin changes, and lymph node enlargement. But the treatment is often more intense, and the side effects are more severe. If your treatment, regardless of the nature of your cancer, causes disabling symptoms, whether it's physical limitations, cognitive issues, or immune suppression, you can potentially qualify for your disability benefits. But it's going to be a matter of, let's talk about the long-term disability claim perspective so you understand some challenges that you might face. And I want you to understand them now because they're going to arise not only at the initial application stage, but in the life of this particular claim. Now, from the long-term disability claim perspective, the disability carrier is going to want to see a diagnosis and the objective basis of the diagnosis based on testing and staging. They also want to understand what your physical or cognitive or even psychological restrictions and limitations might be, because ultimately it's your burden of proof to prove that you can't do your own or any occupation. Your doctor is going to be asked to complete some forms called activity of daily living forms. I don't think they ask the right questions. So in the breast cancer cases that I handle, we supplement that APS form with a Social Security Disability breast cancer residual functional capacity form. And I would hope that you would also be applying for Social Security disability benefits at the same time as your long-term disability claim is pending. You can use that residual functional capacity form in both claims. But the point I'm trying to make is that the residual functional capacity form really asks the right questions about your functional restrictions and limitations, because ultimately you have the burden to prove this causal connection between your restrictions and limitations and your inability to do your own or any occupation, depending on the stage of your claim. Remember, you're also going to be required to be continuing to have medical care, even when you are in remission. I will tell you that insurers will often challenge claims if you appear to be too active in your daily life. They're going to be checking your social media. Now, they also will play the game of misclassifying your job, particularly when you may be quote unquote in remission. And they're going to say, well, because you're in remission, you can go back to whatever your job might be. And we're going to misclassify it so it's actually easier than how you may have performed it. That's another game you need to be aware of. Again, that's something that you are going to want to challenge if that's happening to you. They're also going to be looking closely at your medical records. They're going to be looking for that connection between your symptoms, the restrictions and limitations, and an inability to do your own occupation. So that's why I am always harping on giving that really good interval history of symptoms and functionality, so that the carrier, as they read your medical records, can see not only the story of your medical condition, but can also see the story of your functional restrictions and limitations and why you can't do your own or any occupation. Got it? Let's take a break.
Are you a professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy, with tips and to-dos that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you don't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we're giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.